This is the third time I have tried recording this video. I'm getting used to a new camera, and then my boyfriend called me in the middle of the last take. Anyway, hello, my name is Zan. Welcome to the channel if you are new. If you are not new and you are a recurring viewer, then welcome back. So I want to get back into my regular content posting because that's something that I've very much missed, if I could speak properly. So today I want to talk about the differences between getting ready to go places when you're able-bodied versus when you're disabled. This question was raised to me by a friend of mine from the writing studio where I work, that she had asked about this because we were talking about getting up and getting ready in the mornings, and she made a mention of it only takes her 10 minutes to get up and get a shirt on and brush her teeth and brush her hair and then get out the door in the morning. And that concept to me is very foreign. Even before I became really truly disabled, it still took me a little bit longer to get up and get ready in the mornings. When I was in elementary school, junior high, and most of the way through high school, I suffered from chronic pain, and so it was very difficult for me to just jump right up in the mornings and get going. I was often really stiff. So it would take me a few minutes of kind of hobbling around the house before I was kind of getting my mojo going, where I could wear off the stiffness and kind of swallow the pain in a sense, to be able to sort of act as if I were able-bodied and go about my regular routine as if I were able-bodied. So there was that, and then when that kind of subsided majorly, there were a few years where I was relatively able-bodied, and then in the last 3 or 4 years I've gotten this bout of disability stuff that we don't know what it is yet. But anyway, so getting ready when you're disabled takes a lot of thinking, takes a lot of logistics planning. So for example, for me, depending on the day, I can be ready in anywhere between half an hour up to a solid hour to potentially more than that if I'm really having a bad day. So currently I am unable to use my legs. So I've been in my wheelchair for the last couple of weeks in the middle of a paralytic episode where I have no function in my legs. So getting up and getting going for me currently it takes a lot more time than if I were able to actually stand up to like to put my clothes on, or to walk into the bathroom to brush my teeth, or those kinds of things. So I have to really think about how I go about getting ready. I have to make sure that I have clothes accessible to me. So like currently I don't have access to our closet. There are too many things in the way. I'm gonna turn on this light here. Much better. The bedroom was getting dark and it was making this side of my shot dark. Anyway, so I don't have access to my closet, and so I have to make sure if I'm getting dressed immediately in the morning, I have to make sure that I have clothes next to the bedside that I can easily reach in the morning. Or sometimes I just say, if I'm not getting ready to go out somewhere, I just kind of say, screw it, and stay in my pajamas all day. Because if I'm staying in the house, who cares anyway, right? But if I have to get up and get going in the morning, especially if I don't have someone here to help me, then I have to make sure that clothes are within reach. Now, normally if I'm getting up and going somewhere in the mornings, Joseph, my boyfriend, is here, so he will be able to, get me clothes from the closet or from a drawer or something or another like that. But I still have to put the clothes on myself. If he's getting ready alongside of me, then he's not always able to help me put my clothes on. Like if we're both getting ready to go out at the same time, unless he wakes up at the same time I do, or if we both wake up earlier so that he can make time to help me put my clothes on. I can do it myself, yes, sometimes it's nice to have the extra help though. And sometimes depending on like the function that I may have, like in my arms, if I have limited function in my arms, I might need the help. So getting clothes on is a logistical process for me, because when I'm able to stand up and move around, I can just step into one pant leg, step into the other pant leg, pull my pants up and go. When I don't have function in my legs though, I have to actually like pick up one leg and set it across my lap and get the pant leg on that leg, and then swing my leg back down, and then get the other leg up and across my lap and put the pant leg on that leg, and then I have to, usually I sort of like wiggle back and forth to like pull one side of my pants up a little ways and then lean to the other side and pull the other side up, and then back and forth until I have the pants kind of like wiggled my way up, you know, their way up my body. If I have to get a shirt on and I don't have function in, like, say, one of my arms, then I have to struggle with actually getting, like, the sleeve onto my arm and then getting my other arm through the other sleeve and putting it over my head. And shirts are a nightmare for me when I don't have function in my arm, which isn't very often, which is probably why I'm not used to doing it. Pants are different because I struggle most with the function in my legs. So it's putting clothes on, just putting clothes on is a logistical struggle in and of itself. But then I also have to consider, like, if I have to take a shower, my bathroom is inaccessible, so I have to allow extra time if I have to shower in the morning before I go out somewhere, because I have to think about, you know, how do I get basically from the doorway in my bathroom, because my wheelchair doesn't fit into my bathroom, how do I get from the doorway over the sink, over to the toilet, and then over to the tub wall, and then into my shower chair. And, you know, getting dried off and getting dressed after a shower is, you know, even more of a challenge because you're wet, everything's slippery. It's hard to dry off your butt when you're sitting in a wet shower chair and you can't stand up for a minute to dry yourself off. And so there's a lot of logistics, planning, and especially energy that goes into these kinds of things. Now, if I'm going out of the house, for instance, and I'm in my wheelchair, then I have to think about, you know, who is going to be putting my wheelchair in the car, who's going to be carrying me out to my car, because I don't have ramps for my house right now. If I had ramps, then I would be able to get myself out to my car. I would be able to put my own wheelchair in my car, but I currently don't. So that's an extra time, an extra step that we have to take, or extra several steps actually, to actually carry me out to the car and then get my wheelchair in the car, along with now having a daughter. If we're taking her with us somewhere, then she has, you know, we have to plan for her getting ready as well. So there's everything that we do as disabled people is we have to really seriously plan it through. We have to think it through very carefully and plan it, because otherwise we might end up, you know, not having enough energy to do what we need to do. So if you're able-bodied and you have a disabled friend or family member or, you know, a close relation, whatever, what have you, then think about, you know, are they going to need my help in the morning? Or if you're not sure, ask them, you know, is there anything I can do to help you get ready in the morning if you're traveling with them, for example. And if they do need help, then be willing to fully embrace your role as a temporary carer, in a sense, to make sure that they are able to get up and get ready alongside of you. But if they say no, then, you know, hands off, no worries. You know, we don't always need help, and it's best if we say, no, I've got this, to just let us do it on our own. So anyway, I've been thinking about doing a video showing kind of how I do my transfers, and especially how I handle, you know, having my daughter with me, you know, caring for her from a wheelchair. So keep a lookout for that in the future. And if you guys have any questions, of course, ask me. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!